if this happened, I think I'd be pretty delighted as to what this could mean for Zebec moving forward. Nothing I say is financial advice, but what I mean is, not too long ago, Morgan Stanley, they filed its ETF for Bitcoin and as well as Solana. Now, why does this even have anything to do with Zebec? Some people may be asking me. Well, it's because Solana Ventures is not only a backer when it comes to Zebec, but Zebec has an aspect of Solana. Like not too long ago, ZBCN was actually top 10 in terms of utility when it comes to Solana. And Solana, it's primarily known for memes in my perspective, right? It's not really known for the utility-driven projects, but at least I did see that when it comes to Zebec. So if Zebec, which has pretty close ties to Solana Ventures, because after all, it is a backer when it comes to Zebec, not to mention Zebec has an aspect of Solana, if let's say something does happen to Solana, right? Anything positive, let's say, wouldn't that indirectly sort of impact something like Zebec? This is just my perspective. Now, again, I'm not telling anyone to do anything, but my mindset is that if a project, let's say, right, is on Cardano, and let's say good things happen to Cardano, wouldn't some of it kind of trickle over in terms of the attention? Maybe. Who knows? But we've kind of seen it time and time again in some cases. Like, for instance, Ethereum having the ETF and all this type of stuff, didn't that kind of indirectly sort of, elevate some of the projects on Ethereum, But this is just my mindset. Solana is not going to be as popular as Ethereum ever, I think, but at least at the same time, if there's good things that happen to Solana, I don't see why that would be such a bad thing. When it comes to Zebec, not only Zebec though, I think even some of the memes might also be affected as well, and also some other projects that don't have an aspect of memes at all, like more the utility-driven ones, right? But still, even despite all that, I don't think Zebec's going to be the only one, but at least Zebec, considering its kind of aspect of Solana, I don't see why it'd be such a bad thing if this were to happen. Now, this is just like filing for it, right? Who knows what's going to happen? It could happen, it could not. There's going to be a decision still yet to be made. But at least I like how Solana is beginning to have more and more sort of notoriety and also more, I guess, attention from enterprises and stuff like that. So I think that when it comes to Zebec, I get it. It's not necessarily the most popular project, even within its niche. It's arguably number 5 as of right now within the space of global trading finance. Within this space, it's not top 3. And I don't think it could ever be top 3, by the way, in the foreseeable sort of timeline, because number 3 is already XDC, number 2 is already Stellar. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think Zebec could overtake that if, let's say, there was an altcoin season. But actually, I think more so its closest competitor is Onyx. That's a little bit more realistic, right, to kind of compete with that. Onyx right now is arguably number 4 within this space. But you know what? Zebec, I think, has more aspects going on for it. I think Onyx has more of that it factor, just because even despite not being able to achieve as much as something like Zebec, for whatever reason, it's already been having like more sort of attention. But even despite all that though, I still believe in both projects. But Onyx, it's kind of more so driven through the it factor, the energy, kind of the vibe and all this. Zebec is more so driven through the fundamentals, kind of the team, sort of the aspects of it, what it's trying to do with the cards and all this, and just the acquisitions that it had, the partnerships. It's kind of more so, driven through that. Onyx is just more so of the vibe and sort of the cool factor, I suppose. But it doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing, because I think that, each project, they're going to have their own pathways to, their achievements, right? There's just like multiple pathways to hypothetical success sometimes in the cases that I see. So I don't think it's just a single formula and then it's just going to be like that for all projects. I just don't think so. I think that each project is going to have their own path, be it not through good fundamentals or through good fundamentals. So yeah, it is what it is. I think that when it comes to Zebec overall, I just wanted to make this video to talk about this real quick and just to kind of, I guess, give my opinion as to what I think this could be. And sometimes approvals like this, they could take quite a while. So I'm not necessarily saying that it could have any sort of impact for something like ZBCN in the short term. But who knows, right? If it does get an approval, and if, let's say, there is an altcoin season or something like that, if the timing for whatever reason is a little bit similar. I don't see why it'd be such a bad thing when it comes to ZBCN just overall. Only time will tell, but I'm just saying, this is my point of view as of right now when it comes to Zebec. But yeah, only time will tell. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.